Good morning, Grunts. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm just getting up, just got my coffee. This morning, I want to talk to just let's do the 15 to 18-year-old male demographic. And the reason for this conversation is I had some uh, father reach out to me, single father reach out to me. I don't know what would constitute a single father, but this guy had been married for quite a few years, divorced, had two kids, had the youngest one's still around. The oldest one's up doing his own thing, making his own dent in the universe. But the youngest one is still still school age. He's 16 years old. But just out of blue, just got done eating lunch, was about to head to the gym about an hour later, and I get a um, call. This guy is pretty stressed out. He's really worried about his son. Um, and I'm going to keep things really anonymous for the privacy of the family involved. But what happened is is his son went out drinking the night before. Okay, gets pulled over and is arrested for DUI and an MIP. Now, just let this cat out of the bag, young man, that I live in Nebraska, and I didn't know this. And I grown up here my whole life. I left for 4 years to live in California, came back, but I'm born and raised Nebraska. Um, but I didn't know this till the other day, talking with this guy, and his kid is was arrested for DUI and MIP. And I said, MIP, did he have alcohol in his possession in the vehicle or anywhere near him? He says, no. He says these boys were out drinking and driving and didn't have alcohol. So I'm assuming they were at a party and then decided to jump in a vehicle and drive to wherever. But getting between point A to point B, they get pulled over. The driver is arrested for DUI and MIP. So how MIP works for a minor in the state of Nebraska? I didn't look up the statute. I'm just going by what information was given to me. You can look up the statute if you want. I don't think it's that important for me because I'm not a minor, so I don't have to worry about MIP. But for those of you that are minors, yeah, I'm talking to you today, little grunts, minors, that if you have alcohol in your system at the time of being pulled over, you are considered in possession. If it's in your system, you're in possession. Because at some point, and guys, like people go, that's bullshit. Look at it from the state's point of view. You had to possess that alcohol at some point to drink it. Okay. So that's where the MIP comes in at. And so his son has now been arrested and cited, not charged, but cited. He's got a court date. He's been cited with DUI and MIP. And kind of get a little backstory on this individual. 16-year-old boy, soon to be young man. Uh, he's enrolled in the local community college here in town. Wants to get into he doesn't want to. He's enrolled in the welding program. So um, dad gets notified. Son calls dad, says, "Hey, dad, I screwed up. I got a DUI and MIP." Of course, dad's like, "What the hell?" And the son had to abruptly in the conversation because he had to drive to take a um, compass test at the college. So on his way to the college, he calls his girlfriend and breaks the news to her that he has or got arrested for MIP, or yeah, DUI MIP. And she immediately dumps him on the spot for it, which, I mean, rightfully so. I think that'd be most women, but again, these are 16-year-old kids. Girlfriend dumps him right on the spot. probably tells him he's a stupid ass idiot and says, well, I don't want to be with you anymore. We're over. We're done. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever she says to him. And he immediately flips. Doesn't make it to the college, ends up somewhere. I don't know. We have two campuses here in town. I don't know where you would go to take the compass test, but let's just say the abrupt breakup of his relationship, didn't make it to the college. He ends up pulling off somewhere on some county road, I guess, and just like most beta male simps, they get, when they get through divorce or they get dumped by a girlfriend or whatever, they actually start crying and you get distraught, and now they're not in their right frame of mind. And so um, he's sitting there off the side of a county road somewhere, and a passerby happens to notice this kid was looked like he was in distress, called the sheriff's office and said, I just drove by a young man, a kid, probably a teenage kid, looked like he's in distress. Could you send someone to do a welfare check on him? Of course, the sheriff's department obliges, and yeah, we'll send somebody out to right away to check it out. Well, by then, this kid had left his area where he was reported at and was driving somewhere else. The deputy sheriff did catch up to him, and this is where it gets bad, guys. This kid was very distraught. He had a 20 gauge shotgun laying across his lap, and the sheriff approaches the vehicle and says, "Hey, son, how you doing?" And the kid probably, "Oh, I'm not doing good. No, I'm not all right." The sheriff probably asked the kid, "Hey, is that shotgun loaded that's laying across your lap?" "Well, yeah, it's loaded." And so immediately the deputy talks to him about his parents. "Hey, is there someone that I can call?" You can call my mom." So he calls mom. Um, Mom answers, and the deputy, informs her, "Hey, I've got your son pulled over here at this location. You're gonna need to come get him and take him to the hospital." She says, "No, I'll come get him and I'll take him home." And the deputy says, "No, ma'am, you have no choice. He's got to go to the emergency room. I got him pulled over. He's obviously in a lot of distress, a lot of stress. He's got a loaded shotgun laying across his lap. We don't know what his intent here is, so you don't have a choice. He's got to go to the hospital." So mom and dad show up at the hospital. They spend the next 3 hours in the emergency room. It's unfortunate, and guys, I did a video on, and it's been a while back. I had a coworker of mine commit suicide prior to getting divorced for the second time. Guys, deleting your self-deletion is not suicide is not the answer. But we got to also understand, for men, we don't when we go through stuff like that, we are on our own. I remember going through my divorce. The guys that I thought were my long-term, long-time friends never called me, never texted, never said, "Hey, Brian, you all right? How's it going? Just heard you and your wife are getting divorced. I'm so sorry to hear that. If you need to talk, please give me a call." I offer that to a lot of guys I know. Um, if you're having problems with your marriage, your relationship, or you're going through divorce, God, I have an email address on my YouTube page. You can call or you can reach out, email me, and I will answer you back. It may be a day, because I don't get paid for this. I do this voluntarily. I don't make money off this YouTube channel. I have a regular job I go to, every day, 5 days a week. So I don't make money on this. This is not my bread and butter. This doesn't pay my bills. So I do this because of the experiences I've had going through divorce and going through family court, through child support modification, through being a single dad and handling issues with a single mom household. I share those experiences and hopefully educate you guys in what I've learned so you don't make the same mistakes I made. And so this is why I'm gearing this video today to the 15 to 18-year-old age of boys, young men, so that way they understand the the pressures of being a man when they get to that stage. And I think a lot of boys, I mean, I remember being, who remembers being 15, 16, 17, 18? Fuck yeah, I remember it just like yesterday. You know, it's like I went to bed at 17. I woke up at 47 years old. I was married, divorced, two kids. And, you know, life happens like that. And I'm here to tell you, young men, that it doesn't get any easier. And for this 16-year-old kid, he hasn't even begun. Hasn't even begun. He's had his first, I'm assuming this is his first run in with a breakup with a girl where the girl breaks up with him. Um, so this is where I'm going to turn the narrative over, and because most of you guys, and this is the God's honest truth, there's data to back up everything I'm going to tell you here. I'm not going to break out the data. You can look that up on your own, but I'm here to tell you, majority of you young men are probably not getting married, and a lot of it is girls. You're gonna get out there in the real world, and you're gonna learn that women are really not that interested in you. Hands down, they're not that interested in you. And to be simping over a girl at 16 years old, that is, well, it was almost a fatal mistake. So, guys, I'm here to tell you right now, there are guardian. I became a believer in guardian angels yesterday when this guy was telling me this story. There was a guardian angel looking over this 16-year-old young man yesterday, because if that person hadn't driven by and observed what they saw, whether it was a man or a woman, that person is that kid's guardian angel, and they didn't even know it and still don't know it today, that there was some guardian angel out there to say, hey, wait a minute, we need to do something. This ain't right. So what I'm here to tell you now, guys, young, and I'm talking young guys, I'm talking you 15, 18-year-olds today. This video is for you. And what I'm here to tell you right now is you need to take women off the plate. Okay, you need to take girls off the plate. Well, that doesn't sound like fun, Uncle Brian. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's not fun because, hey, I was 16 also. I chased girls. I did stupid shit. I did everything but what I should have been doing at that age. So this is why I'm telling you this now, because I see a lot of 16-year-old kids holding hands at the Walmart. I see a lot of those kids holding hands at the park, or they're holding hands at a community organization or function or whatever it is. It's just guys simping, young guys, boys simping girls. And while it's nice and convenient at that age, girls, even at that age, reserve the right to end the relationship at any time. And if you give them the ammo to do it, they'll do it. Believe me or not, guys, even girls that age are looking at a man's future. They're looking at what his potential could be. They're banking on you being successful within a set amount of time. And so what I tell boys, I'm going to extend this. I used to tell young men it's 18 to 30. I'm going to take that back. It's 15 to 30. Okay. And the reason being is, if you want a shot at success, a shot at women, a shot at a great life, you have to start doing the work starting in high school. I told both my boys this. That not only is high school the best years of your life as a kid, but it's also the building foundation. You start laying the foundation of your future in high school. You start uh, grinding the stone, start developing a skill, skill that will either take you to trade school where you'll learn a trade, or you'll prepare yourself to go to college. If that's the route you want to go, you'll start taking college entrance exams, you'll start taking dual credit courses, you'll start preparing your life for college after high school. Or if you're like some other people, you skate through high school and you just go to work after you graduate. You get your diploma and you go straight to work. and some even go to the military. So you've got four options there. So what would be in the best interest of a 15, 18-year-old right now while you're in high school is for one, show up to school on time, be there, and don't miss school unless you're absolutely sick. Meaning you wake up and you're thrown up. God knows, me and the wife at the time, our kids would wake up, oh, I don't feel good. Well, our rule was if you're not throwing up, you're going to school. And there's been a couple times where we did send the boys to school and get a call an hour later from the school saying, hey, can you pick so and so up? He just threw up. Okay, we should have kept him home. But from my experience of being a parent, I've learned that kids will do anything to try to get out of going to school. I was one of them. Like I said, I remember being that age, I don't want to go to school. My parents made me go, her parents made her go, and so we made our kids go. And so when we would get the call, oh yeah, okay, so and so throwing up in the bathroom, so he needs to come home for the day. Okay, yeah, now we know. So what you need to do between from the years of 15, 18 is you go to school, you show up on time. Whether it's you're going to public school or you're going to homeschool, you get up and you go to work. You do the work. You do your school work. Okay, you do it well. If you struggle, get help. But your main focus between those years is starting to lay that foundation, a strong foundation for the rest of your life, where this doesn't involve girls. I'm not saying don't go date. I'm not saying don't talk to girls. Don't. But your main focus of your those 4 years is building your foundation. You're doing the dirt work right now. You're doing the dirt work. You're in a cat dozer. You're moving the dirt. You're creating the foundation. Okay. And then when you get out of high school, okay, you've done the dirt work. Okay, you did the dirt work. You're ready to lay the foundation. You're ready to lay the bricks. You're ready to lay the concrete. That's where college, trade school, military, or even just going to work and learning a job. Okay, now you're bringing in the bricks. Okay, you're laying that foundation brick by brick. Okay, you're setting yourself up for a solid foundation. Okay, again, you're not simping women. Okay, this is where the 18, okay, let's say 19 to 30 is now your post high school building years. Okay, you don't have a you don't have a dedicated woman in your life at 19. Okay, you're pushing that wheelbarrow full of bricks for your foundation. Okay, you did the dirt work in high school. You did the dirt work. Okay, you smoothed out the ground. You want to build this foundation on level, solid ground. Okay, so now you're 19 to 30, and you're doing the military, you're doing trade school, you're doing college, or you're entering the workforce as a young. You're in an entry level job. Okay, and when I say entering the workforce, you're literally in an entry level job. You're learning that job so you can. And a good one would be Walmart. I know a lot of people probably scorn me for that saying that, but Walmart, I tell you right now, they're a corporation that has all kinds of jobs. You can start here, uh, get good there, and go to another department, go for the next, another. You can go management. I mean, there are a lot of pathways at Walmart. I'm not promoting the work at Walmart, but I'm just using them as an example that that's a big enough organization that you could start out as cleaning the floors and you could be the CEO in a matter of years. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about entering the workforce. You enter a company and you start learning how that company operates day to day. You become really good at your job and you decide, okay, I think I might look into that promotion. And then you start working your way up towards maybe an entry level management position. And then you get proficient there. And then maybe I'll become a senior or a senior level position. And then next thing you know, over the years, you progress into C-suite level position and, you start calling the shots. Your experience and decision making positively impact that organization. So that's what I'm talking about there. Okay. But 19 to 30, those are building years. Yeah, by all means, date the girls, go to dinners, take them to movies, but don't make it a lifelong commitment at that time. Because I'm telling you right now, girls are doing the same thing because they've been raised and conditioned through feminism that you cannot depend on a man. So they're doing the same thing you are, which makes the job market that much more competitive, that much tighter. Okay. That's why I tell guys the one of my famous sayings is do the work. Okay. Because you have to do the work because you literally are competing with women. And so when a young boy, you know, young man from 15 to 18 gets derailed by a girl, um, they it could be tragic. And then you combo that on top of being raised by a single mom, so he's starting to develop aspects of of that single mom. He's got her emotions, he's got her feelings. He Single moms don't do kids any justice in the world. They don't. That's probably one of the worst ways to raise a kid is with a single mom. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and I'm going to jump over here and talk about fatherless home statistics real quick. And then I'll probably wrap this video up. Share. I like it when every time I log into Zoom, it changes every time. So I'm going to see if I got this right. Okay, here we go. I hope everybody can see that. I'm going to move this here. What I've got here, and I try to use mainly reputable sources, but this website is called fixedfamilycourse.com. Divorce, child custody blog. It's a blog, single mother home statistics. I'm sure this person did the work that I didn't have to do. But oh, that coffee's good this morning. It's a good wake me up. Um, Fatherless home statistics. Fatherlessness has become a concerning trend with a significant number of children growing up without engaged or yeah, without engaged and involved father. I would say probably or. The following statistics shed light on the prevalence and impact of fatherless homes on society. Okay, fatherless homes does not necessarily mean that the father isn't there. Okay, there's two categories here that this person's talking about. They're talking about either A, the father is there. Okay, yeah, A, the father's there and he's nothing more than like a doormat that you put in front of the front door that people walk on when they enter and when they come in and out of the house all the time. Okay, he's nothing more than a doormat that people walk on, or he's just not there due to divorce. Okay, um, I want to jump up here before I um, talk about this. Okay, yeah, here's a good stat. Single mother home statistics. 37.8% of single mothers are divorced, 41% never married, and only 6.5 are widows. Here's the important part to look at here. When I talk to guys about dating single moms, I ill advise against it, and for various reasons that I won't discuss here because this is not that topic. But this is the unfortunate number here: 6.5% are widows. Okay, um, there's a good chance there was a strong male role model, a strong father in that home, and he had either got in a car wreck, come down with a life-threatening disease that ended his life or whatever. But these two numbers here are alarming. Okay. And the second bullet is that means about half of single mothers have never been married, while almost a third are divorced. Children born of fatherless out of wedlock are considered the property of the mother. And this is where, I can touch on. Let's go ahead and touch on dating single moms. So this is what you're going to get. Well, let me see, where was I at? Okay, children born to fathers out of wedlock are considered the property of the mother. Fathers do not automatically have rights like the mothers do when they give birth. A father has to prove paternity. Again, mothers know 100%, mothers know 100% of maternity, but they don't really know who the father is because these are the girls that sleep around, they get pregnant, they don't really know who the dad is. So as a man, what that's saying is as a man, your paternity is never guaranteed. Okay. You don't know. She wakes up one morning, takes a pregnancy test. Oh, I'm pregnant. Do you honestly know that that kid is yours? You don't know. Okay. Most of the time, the father is able to get his visitation time with the child, and if the mother objects, she just interferes with his parenting time and enforcement of custodial interference, even though a jailable offense in most states is not enforced against a custodial parent, and false allegations often can be used to thwart the efforts of the non-custodial parent to enforce, leaving the child without the time necessary to continue the growth of the bond and support of their father. That's the biggest problem in the United States right now. Moving on, I'm going to skip down here to the fatherless home statistics. Fatherlessness has become a concerning trend. Yeah, no shit. With a significant number of children growing up without an engaged and involved father, the following statistics shed light on the prevalence and impact of fatherlessness homes on society. Number one, 63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes. Case in point yesterday. My community could have lost a young member of its community. Number two, 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. Yeah, I believe that. Number three, 85% of all children who show behavior disorders come from fatherless homes. Very true. Number four, 80% of rapists with anger problems come from fatherless homes. Can't argue that. Number five, 71% of all high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. Can't deny that. Number six, 75% of all adolescent patients in chemical abuse centers come from fatherless homes. I won't argue that. Number seven, 70% of juveniles in state-operated institutions come from fatherless homes. That means like juvenile homes, kids that are always in trouble eventually get pulled from that single mother home and they end up in juvenile state-operated institutions. Okay. And lastly, number eight, 85% of all youths sitting in prisons grew up in a fatherless home. You know, you get a mass shooting here in America nowadays, usually a young man who's been lied to all his life, all of his childhood, being raised by a single mom, being told this, being fed this line of crap, being fed that line of crap, being lied to about, you know, believes in what he watches in Disney and TikTok and all that other bullshit. And then when he gets out in the real world, it's not what how he was raised. It's not what he was led to believe. And then his reaction is to get mad, grab a weapon, and shoot up an innocent school, church, nightclub. People that really didn't have any impact on his life, but because the anger and rage has spilt over his cup, he now finds it necessary to try to solve the problem instead of seeking help, instead of coming to people like me, to Rolo, to Aaron, to Fresh and Fit, to other guys that are out here spreading the message of trying to help men through these things, try to help them understand that how you were indoctrinated, how you're raised, and what you were fed is not what's really outside these doors here. So, and for the to enhance the topic of today's video, the effects of fatherlessness, teenage statistics. Okay, this is what's currently happening in the homes right now of single moms. The effects of fatherlessness on teenagers are far-reaching and impact various aspects of their lives, including education, mental health, and involvement in criminal activities. The following statistics highlight some of the concerning outcomes associated with fatherlessness during the teenage years. Here we go. There are 7 points here. I'm going to read them off. Number one, teens without involved fathers are twice as likely to drop out of school. Yeah, it's very true. A matter of fact, the young man that's had troubles yesterday, his dad was informing me that him and his ex-wife have agreed to pull him out of the public school system and enroll him in a homeschool program. Okay. Remind when I mentioned earlier, this kid is also enrolled as a uh, in the welding program at the local community college here. So he's going to finish high school at home and go to college full time, which I think is great. You know, I don't think the public school system does any of these kids justice. God knows I've dealt with the public school system here as a parent, and it sucks. The teachers are there to get a paycheck. They get the script of what they're supposed to teach, and they just kind of read off a script. Girls raised in fatherless homes are more than twice as likely to become pregnant before the age of 18. Yeah, that number is ever increasing year over year. Teens from single parent households are more likely to engage in delinquent behavior compared to those from two parent households. Yeah, very true. Adolescents without involved fathers are at a higher risk of experiencing emotional and psychological problems. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what was happening yesterday with this young kid, the 16-year-old. He was had a emotional and psychological breakdown over a girl breaking up with him. Should have never happened. Should have never happened. That boy should have reached out to his father as soon as she pulled the plug on the relationship. As soon and said, "Dad, I need to talk to you. I need help." And he'd have welcomed that boy. He said, "Yeah, come on over. Let's talk about it." Okay. Teens without fathers have an increased likelihood of substance abuse and addiction. Yeah. Case in point, this young boy might have had a drinking problem, got pulled up for DUI and MIP. You can't tell me that we're seeing some similarities here. Fatherless teenage boys are more susceptible to involvement in criminal activities. Yeah, very true. And finally, girls from fatherless homes are more vulnerable to being lured into exploitive situations outside the family. Absolutely. They start giving their body away to random men, random strangers. They get pleasure out of sexual activity. Okay. And what's sad about these statistics is um, it's never really been shed to light, never come to light. Um, and when you see a lot of these mass murders, mass shootings with young adults, and these shootings happen with men as young as 16, 17 years old. These are just angry kids. They're angry at the world. They're angry at they're angry at their dads. They're angry at their moms. They're just pissed off, and so their outlet is to cause harm to others, and it's unfortunate. Cause harm to others and or themselves. You look at the number of times a young man has went out and shot up a school and then turned the firearm on himself and shoot himself. So while it's tragic, it's sad. And yet when they ask, well, where's the father at? Well, he's not involved. Well, and you can look into family court cases, and you can look at, and I've even talked about this too, the effects of divorce. When you look at, I'm part of a Facebook group on father's rights, custody, and child support page. I read that a lot, and I see a lot of guys that are struggling every day to see their kids. They are fighting for their children. Their kids have been ripped from them, and they're fighting for those kids. And this is and this is a casualty. Family court will sit there. Well, we do what's best for the family. Like the fuck you do. Get the fuck out of here with that. You're not doing any family any good. Um, and so this is why we see adolescents, teenage boys, and girls, even girls, are acting out. With behavior wise, but for boys it's different. There really are no. You take a young man case like yesterday. He was looking at two options. He's looking at harming himself, or getting a 3 day to 5 day psych hold at a local hospital. And he luckily, and I don't wish either on anybody like that, but for men, there are only two choices. There are only two choices. And like I said before, guys, there's no one there to help you. No one's going to be there to help you. Ask me how I know. I know I've been there. I've been into some dark times. A lot of guys I talk to have been into some dark times. A couple of YouTube channels I watch, guys that are spreading the same message or sharing the same information that I am, have been through some dark times. And people say, well, you can go to counseling, you do that, but as a man, when you've been defeated, it's hard for a guy to go get help. It's hard to admit for a man to get help. And that's why there's guys like me out here on YouTube spreading the, trying to get guys, hey, reach out to me, talk to me, email me. Uh, let's talk about this. Because suicide, like is in my video, suicide is not an option. Killing yourself is not an option. But for men, there are two choices. It's either suicide or a 5 day psychiatric hold where you're going to be diagnosed with some kind of mental illness. And then you're going to probably walk out of that hospital with a couple prescription pills that you're going to have to take because now you've been deemed you have some kind of mental disorder now. And so now you're going to take pills because that's society's way of solving the problem is by instead of looking at the family unit, um, they'll prescribe a medication. Well, here's a pill for that. Here's a pill for this. Here's a pill for that. You know, so for you 15, 18-year-old guys out there, young men, boys, whatever you want to call it, me personally, I'm just going to call you boys because in this day and age, life's been on easy mode that it's hard for a boy to become a man till about 30. That's why you'll hear me say at times, life won't take you seriously until you turn 30. By then, you should have enough skills, enough education, enough experience to where your opinion starts to matter. Is at 30. So, but for you kids, 15, 18, this is your episode. This is what the one you want to watch. You want to watch this one, okay? This is where, again, I'll reiterate, you are doing the dirt work to prepare your foundation, to prepare to lay your foundation. You are doing the dirt work. You are not chasing the girl suck. You are not simping for a woman. You are head to the grindstone. You are in your books or in your Chromebook. You are doing the work. Okay. By all means, go have a little fun. I'm not saying be a workaholic. All I'm saying is focus on you first and you alone. Don't worry about what what your buddy's doing. Don't worry about missing out on the parties at so and so's house. Don't worry about that shit. Worry about you. You. Because if you're not at your best, how can you be at someone else? How can you be best for somebody else? If you're not right, how can you be right for somebody else? Okay. So focus on you alone. Go to school. Be there on time. Show up. Don't skip a class. Be respectful to your teachers, to your fellow classmates, to the administration. You may not agree with what they do, what they say, but you're a kid. You don't have that decision. Okay. You're there to learn. You're there to get an education, regardless of how shitty it might be. Okay. Every kid goes to school. It's not just you, it's everybody. I went to school. I didn't care for school, but I went. Had I have applied myself, had I had the information then that I have now, things could have been a little different for me. I might have had a different outcome in life. I'm not saying my life is bad. I actually like my life. I have a really good life. But could I have done it different? Absolutely, I could have done it different. So what I'm telling you now, so you don't make the same mistakes as me and millions of other guys ahead of you have done, do the work. Put your head to the grindstone. Don't worry about the social side of it. Don't worry about who you're going to take to prom. Don't worry about who you're going to take to the snowball dance. Who gives a fuck? Okay. And in reality, a majority of you guys aren't going to get laid anyway. Girls your age are the sexual selector. They're more likely not going to pick you out unless you're the star football player, you're the star quarterback, running back, wide receiver, you're the top shooter for the basketball team. You're a home run leader for the baseball team. Unless you're those, the girls aren't going to sleep with you, more than likely. They don't want you. Okay. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm not saying that to be discouraging. That's the truth. Because once you leave the walls of high school, it's no different. Girls are not, when they turn 19, they get through college themselves. They're not looking, they're looking for the higher value guys. They've outgrown the quarterback, the high school quarterback, the high school all-star ball player. Now they're looking for the guy that makes 100,000 a year. Looking for the guy that's got his own home, his own car. He's not, she's looking for a guy that's not living at home with his mom, single mom, that is. Okay. She's looking for a higher value, high target man. Okay. And that's where I'll educate you on hypergamy. Okay. When you get out of high school, you get through college, you get to be 30 years old, and you start looking back at my videos and you find a video where I talk about hypergamy. You're going to learn about hypergamy. Women will they'll date across and up. Women will never date down. But if they'd rather date, they'd rather date up. Okay. So you're going to learn stuff like that. But right now, you are doing the dirt work for your foundation. Okay. You're going to school, you're doing the work. Um, get involved in extracurricular activities, get involved in sports, play football, play basketball, do something constructive with your free time other than chasing girls, doing dumb shit. Okay. Get involved with something. Pick a hobby. If you like going fishing, go fishing. If you want to be a welder, start learning how to weld. Get some used welding equipment, a mask, and start learning how to handle that stuff. Okay. Start building your trade right now. Okay. Because these are the best years of your life and they should be almost the most productive. You're working hard now, so you don't have to work hard when you're 50. You can kind of coast into retirement. So, but that's all I had today, kids. With that being said, you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Toodles.